Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, you reach for your phone, and you open up your banking app. But instead of seeing your hard-earned balance, you just see zero. The money you've saved for years, the money you absolutely rely on to survive, is completely gone, just wiped out in a matter of minutes. And you know what the absolute worst part is? When you frantically call your bank for help, they tell you there is nothing they can do. Why? Because technically, you authorized the transfer. Look, this isn't some nightmare. This is a devastating reality happening right now to thousands of careful, hardworking Americans. The authorities are overwhelmed, the scammers are relentless, and your life savings are right in their crosshairs. This could happen to you. Welcome to The Fraud Files, where we expose real scams and protect Americans like you. Today's case file could save you thousands of dollars. Let's get into it.
To really understand exactly how devastating this crime is, we've got to look at a real victim. Let's look at the case of a woman we'll call Sarah. She's a 68-year-old from the Midwest. Now, Sarah is a smart, super cautious retiree. She wanted to make an ethical investment in social housing using money from her pension. And she didn't just blindly wire money over, right? She did her due diligence, she checked government business registries, she checked the Law Society, she read the online reviews. Everything looked completely legitimate. So, feeling totally secure, she transferred 20,000 pounds, which is roughly 25,000 US dollars, from her retirement account directly into this investment. But what Sarah didn't know was that she was walking directly into a highly sophisticated trap. That money wasn't going into social housing. It was going straight into the pockets of organized criminals who just took the cash and vanished.
The emotional and financial impact on Sarah was just absolute devastation. But the nightmare didn't end with the theft itself. You see, investment scams are a long game. Sarah actually didn't realize she had been scammed until 17 months later. And when she finally uncovered the truth and reported this massive fraud to her bank, they actually denied her refund for the vast majority of her stolen money. You're probably asking why. Because of this little-known banking policy that requires victims to report the fraud within 13 months of the last payment. Sarah was absolutely floored. As she said, it's impossible to spot these things. She was a victim twice, really, first by the criminals and then by the financial system she trusted to protect her.
So, what exactly happened to Sarah? Well, it's part of a massive global epidemic known as the Authorized Push Payment, or APP scam. In simple terms, this is when criminals use intense psychological manipulation to trick you into transferring your own money over to them. Look, they aren't hacking your computer in the dead of night, they aren't guessing your passwords, they are hacking your mind. And these scams target absolutely everyone, from young adults buying stuff on Facebook Marketplace to seniors managing their retirement funds. According to the FBI and the FTC, Americans are literally losing billions of dollars to these exact types of payment frauds every single year. The losses are staggering, and guys, they're accelerating fast.
Now, here is the terrifying legal loophole that makes this scam so incredibly profitable for these criminals. You really have to understand the difference between traditional fraud and push payment fraud. See, with traditional fraud, like someone stealing your physical credit card and buying a TV, the bank spots the unauthorized activity, they block it, and they reverse the charge. You are protected by law because you didn't actually make the purchase. But with push payment fraud, platforms like Zelle, Venmo, or your bank's wire service offer zero purchase protection. Because you were the one who authenticated your identity, you logged into your app, and you willingly hit send, the bank views it as an authorized transaction. Even if you are operating under a totally false premise created by a scammer, the bank just says, hey, you authorized it. And just like that, the money is gone forever.
Section 1. How scammers target you.
So how exactly are they doing this? How are they finding their victims? Well, when we dug into this, the reality is scammers have a highly refined, tested playbook. They buy your data off the dark web, they monitor your social media, and they use automated bots to blast out thousands of texts and emails every single minute just waiting for one person to take the bait. They target careful people just like you by perfectly mimicking the institutions you already trust. Let's open up the scammer's playbook so you know exactly what to look out for. First up is the pay yourself scam. You get a text claiming your account has suspicious activity. When you respond, they call you, pretending to be your bank's fraud department. They'll tell you your money is in danger and you need to immediately transfer it to a new, safe account they've set up for you. But guess who controls that safe account? Yep, the scammer. Then there are bank imposters, where they literally spoof the caller ID so it actually says Wells Fargo or Fremont Bank right there on your phone screen. They also use urgent refund requests, claiming they accidentally overpaid you for an item and need you to Zelle the difference back. They absolutely dominate online marketplace fraud, taking your down payment for a fake rental property or concert ticket. And they send fake invoices that look exactly like they came from PayPal or your utility company.
Now, you might be sitting there thinking, come on, I would never fall for that. I'm way too smart, I check everything. But remember Sarah? She checked everything too. So why are highly intelligent, deeply cautious people routinely getting tricked out of tens of thousands of dollars? Well, it all comes down to the way the human brain processes fear.
The master key to every single one of these scams is a false sense of urgency. Scammers deliberately manufacture extreme panic. They'll tell you the IRS is dispatching the police to your house right this second, or they'll tell you a hacker is actively draining your checking account as you speak. And when you are thrown into a state of sudden panic, the logical, critical thinking part of your brain literally shuts down. Your fight or flight response totally takes over. The scammer then positions themselves as your only lifeline, like they're the friendly expert who's going to help you stop this massive disaster. They rush you, they keep you on the phone, they make sure you don't talk to anyone else. They basically force you to act before you can even think.
Section 2. The hard truth. Why banks reject refunds. All right, now we really need an honest reality check about what happens after the money is actually gone. Are scammers getting caught? Honestly, very rarely. I mean, government crackdowns are happening, and law enforcement is definitely doing what they can. But the intensely frustrating reality here is that these criminal syndicates often operate overseas, hiding behind really complex layers of cryptocurrency and anonymous servers. And you want to know the hardest truth of all? You cannot rely on your bank to bail you out. Remember that 13-month rule that almost cost Sarah her entire retirement fund? Financial institutions are bound by strict, highly technical regulations. Now, yes, there are some new rules intended to force banks to reimburse victims of push payment fraud. But trust me, they come with massive catches. If you don't report the fraud within the bank's super strict time frame, which, by the way, is incredibly common with sophisticated investment scams or romance scams that drag on for years, they will just reject your claim. Look, banks are businesses. They're actively looking for reasons not to absorb the cost of a scam that, technically, you authorized.
And the banks themselves are actually warning you right in plain sight. Major institutions like Wells Fargo explicitly state this on their websites. I really want to let this sink in for a second. Zelle is similar to sending cash. When you use a peer-to-peer payment app, you are completely bypassing the safety nets of the traditional banking system. Think about it. If you wouldn't put $20,000 in an envelope, walk out onto the street, and just hand it to a total stranger wearing a mask, you should never hit send on a payment app to someone you haven't verified in real life.
Section 3. The defense. Protecting your money.
So the scammers are heavily armed with psychological weapons, and the banks are mostly protecting their bottom lines. That leaves exactly one person responsible for defending your money: you. But don't panic, okay? Because you are about to become a hard target. Let's look at the exact actionable steps you absolutely must take to build an impenetrable defense against these criminals. This right here is your golden rule. If you ever receive a phone call, a text message, or an email from someone claiming to be your bank, the IRS, or the police, telling you there is a problem with your money, you execute these steps without hesitation. Step 1. Hang up the phone immediately. Seriously, do not say goodbye, don't be polite, just hang up. Step 2. Open a new browser window or just look at the back of your physical debit card and find the official customer service number. Step 3. Call your bank directly using that verified number and ask them if there's an issue. Do not ever call the number they texted you. As one viewer on a recent fraud investigation perfectly put it, if a bank calls you, always say, "I am going to call my bank."
Now, I want you to literally screenshot this list right now. Seriously, grab a screenshot, because these are the absolute massive red flags of a scam. Number 1, any request for your PIN, your password, or a one-time access code. A legitimate bank will literally never ask for this. Number 2, demands for secrecy. If they tell you not to tell your spouse or your family, it's a scam. Number 3, pay yourself instructions. Your bank will never, ever tell you to transfer money to a different account to keep it safe. Number 4, extreme rushing and pressure. They want you panicked. Number 5, being told you have to pay a fee upfront to claim a prize or get a job. And number 6, perhaps the biggest one of all, unless you are buying a coffee or a birthday present, the government does not accept payment in Target gift cards. If anyone ever asks you to pay for a service or a fine using retail gift cards or cryptocurrency, you are talking to a scammer 100% of the time. So before you ever hit that send button, you need to stop, take a breath, and ask yourself, do I really know who I am paying right now? Because once it's gone, it's gone. But listen, if you have already been scammed, do not feel ashamed. It happens to the best of us. You just need to take action. Step 4, cut off all contact with the scammer immediately. Step 5, notify your bank right away to see if anything can be stopped. And Step 6, file official reports. You must report it to the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov and to the FBI at ic3.gov. Your report might literally be the missing puzzle piece that helps law enforcement take down an entire syndicate. Please share this explainer with your family and friends right now to protect them.
Subscribe to the Fraud Files for daily scam alerts. Comment below if this happened to you or someone you know. Stay alert, stay safe. The fraudsters are watching, but now, so are we.